Well, hey folks, welcome. This is an interactive video for the series, or you can say playlist of Linux commands. Initially, this is a disclaimer for the viewers that I won't waste any of your time during any part of the video. Why explaining you why you should take this playlist or why you should learn Linux commands, how to work with Linux commands. See, everyone has their own reasons why they are taking a particular lecture or particular course. And yes, I believe they have their own reasons, and I will keep the reasons with you itself. So yeah, if you want to learn about Linux commands and you are searching for some source, then yeah, you are in the good hands. This playlist is for you. You can take the lecture. Well, with that, let's start our video. Firstly, I'll be talking about internet audience. Well, if you have a very basic to a very minimum level of knowledge and want to improve that in any sense, then yes, this playlist is for you. If or else if you fall under, I mean, any user who is fall under the field of data, then yes, this particular lecture or this particular playlist is very dedicated for you. And or else if you fall under any sector of IT, then yes, you can take this playlist. Or else if you don't fall any of those categories and you are not even an IT guy but just have access to laptop or PC, and then again yes, you should be knowing about these Linux commands because it's not what you access, I mean what just you have, but how can you operate them. In the sense, Linux, if you learn Linux, then you have a very good edge. And secondly, I'll talk about requirements. Yeah, obviously we need a PC or a laptop, and yeah, along with that, will and patience to learn. That's it. Those are the requirements, and you are good to go. But yeah, along with that, we need some technical requirements like Linux operating system. Well, this series is entirely revolving around Linux. In the sense, I will be talking mostly about Linux commands. But if you say that I am a Windows user, I don't have Linux on my system, or like I won't be needing Linux, I'll be fine with shell. Then hear this. I'll say that Linux, I mean, shell commands are the subset of Linux. Linux is like father for all the operating system. So yeah, if you'll have a knowledge of Linux and very good hands-on experience of using Linux commands, then yes, you have a very good edge, very when compared to a person without knowledge of Linux or just with shell commands. Yeah, with that saying, I will highly recommend you to learn Linux, use Linux because it has more requirements when, especially when you are in the field of IT, or when even when you are looking for a job in the sense of you are at the application level. Okay. With that saying, if you have any questions like how do I access Linux on my Windows? I'm just a Windows user. Then yeah, we have the flexibility of using Linux on Windows. For that, there are several ways to have that access, but I will be talking about two of very popular ways. Among them, first is use of VirtualBox. You can go with VirtualBox. You can download any of the VirtualBox from the online and to your local system, and it needs some kind of requirements and a couple of, I mean, in the sense, setting up. And yeah, and second will be WSL, in the sense Windows subsystem for Linux. If you are not okay with using a VirtualBox every time you have to boot up your, I mean, in sense, load your VirtualBox every time you need to use Linux operating system, then yeah, WSL will be a good option for you. I personally use Linux. I mean, in the sense WSL for operating Linux operating system on Windows. Yeah, if you still want to, I mean, go with VirtualBox, then yeah, go ahead. There are many videos explaining you how to download VirtualBox, and look at those with lectures. And after that, come here and continue the lecture. But going to the if you are going with the second option using of WSL, then yes, you can stay here. And in the sense, I have a dedicated part where I will give you steps. I will show you the steps that need to be followed in order to have access WSL on your Windows. And thirdly, it's kind of a note to the viewers that, as I said, this series is for everyone, despite of your level of experience or the field that you are working in. But during the lecture, you may find that I will be showing some kind of inclination towards data engineers or a person who is in the field of data. It is because of the fact that I am a person who falls under the field of data. So I will be referring how a particular commands will be used by those people. So don't mind if you catch some of them, but keeping that apart, this playlist is for everyone who want to learn. You can go ahead, take these lectures or playlist. Yeah, there are a couple of or a bunch of commands that are very essential, and I will be talking about most. I mean, all of them very essential commands. So I will be segregating those commands into sections, a couple of sections. So the sections that we are going to follow are as follow. In the sense, in section one, we'll be talking about general purpose commands, followed by section two, where we'll be talking about directory management commands. In the sense, how to make directories, how to remove directories, how to access directories, how to shift from one directory to another directory, those things. And followed by section 3 about file management commands. In that section, we'll be discussing about how to make files, different files, what are the files, different files we have, and how to make them, and in the sense create, and how to delete them, uh, such things. And followed by section 4, which is about text processing commands. In the sense, we'll be more concerning about text file and use of text file, and how to read content from the text file, how to move one text file to another text file, I mean the content from one text file to another text file. And use of, I mean, how to know how many lines each text file has, and comments related to that. Followed by section 5, which is access control commands. I would say section 2, section 3, section 5, and 6 and 7 are very essential. In the sense, all are essential, but I would say 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 are very essential part when, if you are a part of in the field of data. So yeah, in the sections 5, we'll be talking about access control commands. In the sense, how to give access to a particular a file or a directory, and what kind of permissions do they have, and what are the level of users, and how to access or how to grant or how to revoke permissions, such things. Yeah, in the section 6, we'll be discussing about input output redirection commands. Well, it is pretty clear that we are, I mean, the users are the one who is going to give the input for the commands. I mean, who is going to write the commands, and respective output will be displayed on the monitor, in the sense command. But what if you want to make use of those outputs and such things? Then yeah, those will be discussed in section 6. And in section 7, we'll be talking about cron jobs, how to automate or how to schedule some kind of operations using command, I mean, operating system, Linux operating system. Yeah, these are all the sections that we are going to follow. Okay, with that saying, let's set up our WSL on Windows. It's quite easy process. We just need to follow a couple of steps. Step one will be checking whether the Windows is up to date. If I mean, how to check whether the Windows is up to date, then go on, follow the steps, go to the settings and check for updates. If there is any updates, then go on, update them. And if there are no updates, then it means you are fine, good to go. And step two will be enabling virtual mini virtual machine platform and WSL on Windows feature. For that, go on search Windows feature on your Windows search bar, and you will get some pop-up like this. At this, you just need to enable virtual machine platform and Windows subsystem for Linux. And after you enable, press enter. I mean, OK, to configure them. And yeah, don't forget to restart your laptop after enabling them. And yeah, with that, we are done with step 2. And step 3 will be quite simple. Open your Microsoft Store and search for Linux. In the sense, if you are okay with Kali, go for Kali, and or else if you want Ubuntu, go for Ubuntu. I'll personally using Kali Linux for this entire lecture, but don't worry, you can go with any of that. And after you choose what to go with, then go on, download it and open shell and just run WSL. After you, I mean, for the very first time, it will ask you to set up a name, username, and a password for that. Okay, you can just give a name, whatever the name you want, and the respective password. I mean, it's just setting up a password, so keep that password remembered. So yeah, with that, you are good to go. So let me show you how it looks like after setting up password and username. Open your shell and write WSL and then press enter. Yeah, this is how it looks. I'm using Kali Linux. It says a message for Kali developers. This is a minimal installation of Kali Linux. If you want to install all the supplements, then go ahead. Here is the URL. You can follow the steps. And if you are okay with that minimal installations, yeah, it's fine. I mean, if you want to follow this lecture and want to practice the commands that I'm going to give or discuss in the playlist, then minimal installation is very fine. So yeah, again, if you want to use command, you can search for command, and there too, if you can type WSL and use Linux, I mean, since Linux operating system, yeah, you are fine. At later point of time, I'll be using VS Code for working with these command lines. If you have your VS Code on your system, then it's fine. If you don't have it, even if you don't have, it's fine. I'm using VS Code only because of the fact that during the section 2 and section 3, where we'll be discussing about file management and directory management, I'll be showing you whether the respective, I mean, directories and files are created and how those, how those operation will be executed in order to show you simultaneously how the operations are working. That is why I'm using Windows. If you want to use, terminal or command prompt in the VS Code, then go ahead. Here you can see terminal and type, click on the new terminal. And here too, you can use WSL so that you can get into the Windows, Linux operating system. You can see this. This is my path where I'm at. If you want to go with, this is my Windows. Let me increase the size. Yeah, this is my Windows path. I'm at the Windows home directory on the desktop and at Kali folder. So if you want to get into Linux, completely not in the Windows home directory, then you can use CD. Then yes, this represents that you are at Linux home directory. Yeah, with that, let's get into our respective section.